Hello everyone. Welcome to today's stream. It is L.I.L's journaling and all that jazz. What are we doing today? We are going to be creating a playlist spread. It's a productivity one. I was thinking of doing a fall one, but I'm gonna save like a spooky spread for an October stream, an October playlist spread for an October stream instead. And so, since school has been starting up for some people, and it is starting up for me, I am going to make a productivity playlist spread for today's stream. But before we get into that, I do have another book haul to do. I'm very excited. I got a lot of books in the mail. Not a lot, just 4. I have one more on the way. I ordered some of my textbooks, so that's what some of these are. And then some of them are just fun books I got. So, first one is MFA in a Box, a Why to Write book. So essentially the purpose of this book, it's going to be for my creative writing class I'm taking, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be mostly fiction based, and the purpose of this creative writing class is to get you ready for publication, and so I'm quite excited for this class. The second one is also for this class is the Pushcart Prize. Oh, I don't know those Roman numerals. Best of the Small Presses. It's 2018 edition. But yeah, it's a thick boy, and I'm pretty sure it's just a bunch of great publications, and so I'm excited to read this. He's a big floppy boy, and I think this is a great resource to have. And one thing for me as a student is, because I'm studying to be a teacher, and most of the books that I have to read for my classes I actually do enjoy. I mostly buy all my textbooks because I want to keep them, I want to read them again, I want to use them for teaching, whatever in the future, so that's how I do that. If you don't buy your textbooks, like sometimes it's hard to buy more, sometimes you want that money back, you want to get it for cheap, all that jazz, so that's up to you. Next book I got in the mail is The Final Gambit, which is the 3rd book in the Inheritance Games series, and I started it. How many pages are it? 142. I think I started it like Wednesday or something. I'm not sure. Either way, I'm very excited to read it, and I've been enjoying it so far. I've missed these characters because it's been a while since I've hung out with them, so I'm very happy about that. And then the final book in this miniature haul is Wild Bound, which is the 2nd book in the Forsborn series. I've already finished this one because I read it real fast, and I loved it a lot. I'm sad that this series is over because I want more of these characters, but I accept that it is over. It was weird reading it because I would read it in I'd either read 100 pages a day or just a chapter, because I was just I want to enjoy it. I want to slow down. I want to feel all the characters, but I also want to figure out what happens because I'm stressed. So that's how this book did me. Yeah. Okay. That's it for that mini haul. I do like talking about my books whenever I get the chance because it's kind of bullet journaling, kind of booky. So yeah. And we always do the reading journal spreads on here, so if you do want to see more of my book stuff and where I'm at with reading in journal, you can go to my Instagram, and I usually post about what books I'm reading and that type of thing, and a couple information there, so you guys can read along with me if you want. And I usually do my my reading journal spreads on stream here, so all my old streams for that are going to be on my YouTube channel, which is also L.I.L's journaling. And then, so yeah, but let's get into today's stream and what we are creating. So today I have my current monthly planner bullet journal. So this is the one I use. I set up my month and my weeklies and all that jazz, and this has the one I use the most. I take with me everywhere. It has most of the stuff I know. It's a new one that I started in this month, September. I got it from Archer and Olive. It is from their summer collection. It has this pink lemonade vibes to it that I am low-key obsessed with. And so that's kind of why I got it. And it is their 8x8 journal, so she's a big boy. But yeah, I've been using it for my September spread. Oh no, my kitty. I got these cute little kitty boys. But we are going to be using it to add on to my September spread and make a, wow, I cannot talk today, a playlist spread for productivity. That's what we're doing. My brain is moving way faster than my mouth, so let's talk about what we got for materials. Okay, first things first is I do have this like tiny cauldron, and in it I have about one of every type of black pen that I have, which I'm going to be using in the spread. I want to use like all of them and kind of test them all at once and see how they fit in the art journal of notebook, while also like talking about them, because I do, some of them I like more than others, and they're pretty cool, and I got a good variety. And since it's kind of like a back to school productivity stream, I figured like if you're looking for good black pens to use in school, I can give you some knowledge. Next, I got this little pumpkin bucket thingy, and it has my washi tape. With our last playlist spread, what we did is we had a little washi tape stick square that we used to kind of show the album cover of the song, and then we had song title, artist, and then the pause play button stuff at the bottom. So I'm going to use all this lovely sparkly washi tape as that kind of album cover. And you guys, if you guys are new here and didn't see that old stream, it'll make more sense as we go along. Okay, first things first, we need to do a title. So let's do this, and I'm going to pencil it out first because I kind of want to do like kind of calligraphy, but also kind of not. We'll see how this goes. I'm gonna double check the other page just so I know that if I do bleed through with any of these pens, because I think some of them will, some of them won't. The great thing about art journal of notebooks is like they got thick paper that like doesn't always bleed through, and it's pretty nice, so I'm excited about that. So and I'm going to, we'll leave that there. Yes. Okay. Yes, no, I do need this. This is my little practice. And I like writing out the title on a different piece, like on my planning paper, just so that like when I do put it up here, I'm actually spelling it right and I can double check my spelling as I go. Okay. And the font I'm kind of doing here, you guys can't see it very well, but you'll see it when I do it in ink, it's more of just using the boxes and making everything very square and boxy. Because I don't know, I feel like that's the vibe right now. Looks good. So the first pen I'm doing is going to be This one, it is a color sense. Does it have a scent? I don't think it does. But I got this from the dollar store, and it's got like a nice felt tip and stuff, so that is going to be the pen I'm using for the title. One of the main reasons I'm kind of making this playlist is because it's definitely something I need in some ways, because I am definitely someone who needs background noise while I'm working on stuff, so that is also why there's music in the background. And if I do listen to any other people's streams, like Amanda Reach Lee's, or I do listen to a lot of Hermitcraft streams, I will do stuff while I'm listening to it. Like, I will put on a stream, and then I'll go be productive and get during the semester I would get homework done. During the summer I'd work on some bullet journaling spreads, or I'd do some personal to-do list items and stuff. So yeah. Hello, pen. Sorry, it's kind of dying on me, so I'm gonna shake it. But yeah, so I need background noise while I'm working on stuff, so that's kind of why I'm making this playlist, because I want to make sure I have all the songs that I like listening to and keeping me on task all in one place. And I do kind of want to share it, because I know there are some people who also do it, because if you guys are listening to my stream and you're working on something else, great job. I'm glad you're working on stuff. You don't always have to do exactly what I'm doing on stream. Here we go. And stuff, so that's the kind of point of this, because sometimes I will put on a show or stream to watch in the background, but I'll find myself looking up at it a little more. Sometimes I'm oh, I put on a vlog and I'm gonna clean my whole house, and other times I put on a vlog to try and clean my whole house, and I'm just I want to watch it instead because they're saying interesting things and that type of stuff. So it is I gotta be on top of my game when it comes to what I put in my background for when I'm being productive, and so that's why this playlist exists. Okay. Now that we got this set up, let us choose our next pen, which is going to be this one. It doesn't have a label. All it does is say it's from Japan. I forgot where I got it, but it's got this really very sharply pointed tip. I've cut myself on this pen on accident before, but I love the way it's right. It's a little faded, but it's it's a very sharp point, and it writes really well. So let's start. So first things first, I'm gonna go a line under where these Y's are, and I'm gonna do 4 boxes down. And then I think 8 across. Now, some of these pens, I will say, you will see them, they'll show up better than others. So I'm pulling this closer so I can make my lines a bit darker. This pen writes it writes lightly and very thin lines. So that's what I like about this pen. finding these Japanese pens are really great, like Japanese stationery. It's popular for a reason because they have like the best freaking tips for their pens and stuff. Like I really like the sharp tip and stuff on this one. Okay. Next, we are going to do the washi tape, and my main thing with the washi tape is the washi tape vibe I picked out, because last time I did like just cool colors and cool colored washi tape. Today's vibe is just anything sparkly, because I thought that would be fun, and I don't really find uses for my sparkly washi tape because it's just not always my vibe, so we're going to be using it today. This first one is the sparkly one with some hearts in it, which now that I think about it, I could use in like a Valentine's Day spread or something. And I think I want to get this one heart as the main part. Ooh. Okay. And this will be our starter pile of washi tape. I have excess washi tape. A nice little pile. And I clean it up at the end, but I promise you. So that is our little album cover. And then our first song. Most of these songs come from the Umbrella Academy soundtrack, just because like my first semester here, that's all I listened to because it came out the summer before I came to college, and it just helped me stay like in the zone for a lot of things. And I would like hang out on campus for hours and just have the playlist on loop, and I would get so much done. So a lot of these songs are from that playlist, the Umbrella Academy soundtrack, that like season 1, and there are a couple others that I just kind of pulled on my own. So this first song is The Walker. By Fitz and the Tantrums. Yeah. And I'm going to turn this because that is how my brain works. And then, so, here I'll draw this and then I'll like, and I realize I may have to move things up on this. 4 may not be the right amount, but that's okay. This one's gonna look a little messy. Alright, but that's bound to happen on my streams. Okay, let's bring this up. So, we got my little box. We use the washi as like the album cover. Top line says The Walker. Bottom line says Fits in the Tantrums. And then I have a line going across with a dot in the middle to kind of show where you are in the song, like you would see on like your phone when like a song is playing, and then a pause and skip buttons. So it's the same kind of screen you would have if here. Ooh, I will show you. Oh, I swear to you, please don't fall. So it's like, oh, you can't see it, but there's the album cover, the dot, the song, the pause, the skips, and the title. So that's kind of how I'm setting it up in here, like you would see on the phone. Okay, I think this first line will definitely be the 4 wide, but I'm going to change it to 5 for the next ones, just because that's a little small. This next one, I'm going to go through every single pen, is, this is a zebra pen. These, I think they're fairly cheap, and they last like forever. Like, I have had this one, like it is very close to running out of ink. It is very, very close to running out of ink. but somehow, like, it's still going. I've had a lot of pens that when they get near the end of, like, their ink life, that, like, they stop and they never actually use all of the ink. Like, they're just like, we're done. There's not enough ink. And I'm like, yes, there is. There's still, like, so much more. And they just give up. Like, the pen dies. But these pens, I have found, do not die like that. And I really like them. Thank you, Sid. Thank you so much for joining stream today. Okay. This next song, so we're on to the next little playlist box. And this one has great ink. But yeah. This will be the vibe. I'll show the pen and washi tape as we go through each of the things, but I probably won't go into depth into all of them, so. Okay. This one has stars. But let's do some more chatting about the books, because I've definitely been on a reading binge this week, and it has not stopped, because I got 2 crazy good books that are the ends of the series, and I need the rest. So let's talk about those. First, we're going to talk about Wildbound. And no, I will not be giving any spoilers on this. I'm just going to kind of give my general thoughts on, like, the writing style and the characters and that type of thing. So there will not be any spoilers. So, Wildbound and The Final Gambit are very different writing styles. And not, like, in the sense of, like, they both write, like, one is a fantasy novel, so they're catering to that. The other is kind of like, it has Knives Out vibes. So it's like a mystery with a little bit of academia in it. So, it's kind of like its own thing. And their writing style is mainly different. What was the first book? Wildbound. The first book, this is the second book in the series. The first one is called Forestborn. And so, with this one, it's a fantasy book. You couldn't hear me. Here. Let me turn down the music. Okay. I hope you guys can hear me better now. This is Wildbound. It is the second book in the Forestborn series. It is by Elaine Audrey Becker. And this book is a fantasy. It's got enemies to lovers in it. It's really cute. It's got a bunch of different romances going on, especially this, like, second one. Like, it focuses heavily on the plot and stuff, and then it has, like, the first book, it just kind of slips in that love story that's, like, gently from enemies to lovers, and they're really cute. So, I really like that about that book and stuff. But its pacing is a little, you kind of got to get used to it, and you got to kind of accept it. So, with the first book, and the second book, you kind of have this pacing. No, it's more in the first book. First book, it's kind of a slow pacing, and it has, this series also has some Hunger Games vibes, because they do kind of go into, like, a crazy forest that has magical beings, that it's quite dangerous. So it has some Hunger Games vibes, and Wildbound is very much a Mockingjay. So it's a little bit of Hunger Gamesy, but without Catching Fire. So, which I think is okay, because Catching Fire was, But its pacing is very slow, like the Hunger Games. It's just kind of like, okay, now we're walking in the woods, and now we're going through this and that type of thing. Like, it's quite slow to kind of get going and to understand everything. It definitely, like, teaches you as it goes, which is great. Like, it teaches you about the world and stuff, the magical world you're in, and I really enjoy that. But it's a slow-going novel, and with its pacing, there are sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm a little bored. I will say that. I did get a little bored, because I'm like, okay, let's just keep it going and stuff. but it did always have, it did like jump to the important moments. Like, yes, they were on a long trip, so going somewhere, and they needed to, and they needed to get certain supplies, and so like it would have the necessary jumps to the most important moments, but it was a little slow in some places. And you kind of got to get used to its slowness because like they're giving you a lot of information, and I did like because in Wildbound it kind of focuses, it's quite intense. They have a lot of stuff going on, but it does like show you the more real side of war. It's a theme that's in this book, is like a war and stuff. That's the main focus of it, and it's very like, yes, there's a war going on, but we also have to focus on like these details and diplomatic stuff. The author did not leave anything unsolved. I really appreciate that. She resolved everything, even if it took a little bit. She's like, I'm going to resolve every little thing, and I will make sure that everything is taken care of, which I do appreciate, like that nice clean ending where she makes sure that not only is every question resolved, but like it's clearly resolved and you know what happened. It wasn't just like, oh, and now that this happened, suddenly everything's fixed. It's like, no, this happened, and this is the solution we figured out, and this is us figuring it out, and now these are the characters actually solving the problem, and all that jazz. So, I liked it. Wildbound, especially when it came to its pacing, it had two different characters that you were going back and forth between, and she, even though it was slow, she did a great job of like every time you switched a character, it was like, oh, I gotta read the next chapter, because she almost always she left it on like a cliffhanger in some ways of like, oh, she left it like you're going through the chapter like, this is a little slow, and then it's a cliffhanger and you get the different point of view, and then it does it again, and so it kind of projects you forward with the reading with its longer chapters and slower pace. So I really liked that about this book. By the way, the last pen I used is, oh, I forget the name of these, but they're from Japan, and I've used them before in streams. Next one's a Pilot G2, just so you guys know. But, so I really liked that pacing with Wildbound. It had its longer chapters, but it kept you invested and wanting to keep reading. This Final Gambit, on the other hand, and the whole Inheritance series, they have very short chapters. There's like 40 chapters in a book, but some of the chapters are like a page long, or two. Like 2 is like the shortest chapters, and like maybe 5 pages is like the longest chapter you'll get. And with that, that makes the pacing really fast in the book, like, because you read a chapter, each chapter is its like own scene, and they all connect really well together, but you're like, okay, scene 1, scene 2, scene 3. You're like, it's kind of like, it's a very quick, fast-paced book. It makes you read more. I like shorter chapters. I've learned is because if I read a short chapter, I'm like, oh, I might as well just read the next one because it's also short, and I get through books faster that way. Longer chapters slow me down because if I'm in a reading rut, I'll read a chapter at a time, and since the chapter's so long, I was like, I'm not that much inclined to read the next one. But on shorter books, I'm like, oh, the next chapter is super short, so I'll just read it anyway, and it kind of it makes me like more likely to read the book, if that makes sense. I hope everything I'm saying makes sense. I'm trying. But shorter chapter books, easier to read. Longer chapter books, kind of more slower to read. But yeah. So those are my main thoughts on those books so far. So if you're interested, There you go. But those are the main books I'm reading. So this first row I did 4 boxes down, and this one I'm doing 5. Just because I needed a bit more space. But it still will be 8 across. And this next pen I'm using is the Mapped Graph Peps Extra Fine .4. I got this in a weird pen set where it's just like it came in a case that could fold out. I forget where I got it from, but they're pretty nice. They're good. They got a nice like tip and stuff. Pretty easy to write with and all that jazz. If, with these spreads, if the song title is longer, I will not write who wrote the song, just because like it doesn't fit and I don't want to like make the boxes bigger than they need to. Just so I just use the 2 lines. But I do keep like 2 lines so I can do song title and author if there's room, or longer song titles. This next pen, it is a Pilot Precise Rolling Ball V5 Extra Fine. I love these pens because, okay, like this fine, super thin line tip, these are my absolute favorite. Like a pen has this, it's a good pen. I guarantee you, it is a good freaking pen. This one's ink does bleed a little, but it's a nice thick black. It writes really well, writes really easily, and that type of thing. So these are one of my favorite pens. And this one happens to be dying a bit. I also like this one because if you see this box right here, that shows you like how much ink is in there, and it's quite gloopy, I'll say. So like I have different ones, and if I have it straight up and down for long enough, like it'll clear up and you can see like through the pen because of the ink thing. So these pens are fun. These pens are dying too. One thing that gets me about, especially like glitter washi tape, I like it. It's chill. However, I have found that a lot of glitter washi tape, like its backing is a little weird, so it doesn't always stick as well as other washi tapes. And it's freaking hard to find where like the roll starts. It's like, where could it be? Think this is it? No, it's not. Lies to you, and it's difficult. That's the only thing that bothers me about glitter washi tape or washi tape that doesn't have a pattern on it, because usually you can look for like, here's an example, you can see where the pattern is like, oh, that's not the normal pattern, that's cut off, so you can tell this is where the thing starts. But this, you're like, there's not really a pattern to tell, so you're like, where does it start? It's right here. Can you tell that it starts right there? No, because it's annoying like that. Okay, you can't die on me, pen, please. One thing I do want to say about, because I am doing the Umbrella Academy playlist as, or at least some songs from it for my productivity playlist. I want to talk about Umbrella Academy for a second. If you haven't watched it, you should. Slight content warning just because, like, it's more of a mature audience type of thing. Not like, I don't think it's MA. It might be TVMA or TV14. I'm not sure about its rating exactly. But it is, it's got a lot of gore. There's like a lot of gore in it, so that's my main warning for it. There's probably other things I'm missing, so, but that's my main warning. Lots of gore, kind of intense sometimes. Anyway, one thing, like, so Gerard Way, who is the leader of the band My Chemical Romance when it was still alive, he wrote the Umbrella Academy, and it originated in comic book form, which I think is really cool. So I got the comics after watching season 1, or I got one comic, I got the first one. And I love Gerard Way. He's a great songwriter. He writes great music. It's really great. But I wasn't the biggest fan of his comics. And my main reason is that it was very rushed. Like, I read some manga, I've read a couple comics, and most of them have a pretty clear plot throughout the whole thing. Like, you know what's going on. And it's like, it's not, like, even if it jumps in some places, you have it's still a clear plot. It's like reading a book, it's like watching a movie, it's like watching an episode of a TV show. There is a clear plot. However, Umbrella Academy's comics didn't really have that. And it kind of got me in that, like, the show is better. What the heck does that say? The show is better than the comics, and it is, the main reason is, oh, sorry. The main reason is because Gerard Way just jumps around a lot in his comic. You don't get a super clean and clear plot with Umbrella Academy in the comic books. It's just kind of like, oh, here's a scene, now we're going to jump over here, and here's a scene. And you don't really get to know the characters super well. You're just kind of jumping around, and then it's like, ooh, look, white violin stuff. And then that's it. Like, that's how the Umbrella Academy comics work. So I like the show a lot better because it fills in a lot of gaps and clean things up. So I really appreciate that with the comics. It is, and the show is pretty true to the comics. Like, there are some things they did change, but they do bring up other things later and kind of fix it up. Like, in the first comic, this is like a very small spoiler for season 3, so if you plan on watching Umbrella Academy season 3 or haven't yet, it's kind of small, it's not too important to the plot, but it is there. In the first comic book, we learn that Allison rumored Luther to fall in love with her, and that's not in the show until season 3. So in season 3, that does happen. So they're like true to the comics in some ways and true and not true to it. So that is one thing I will say about the Umbrella Academy comics and how they work. But other than that, there's just kind of like weird, fun things to pick out. The art design is pretty cool. I do like the way they drew some of the characters. in the comics or Jared Way did. So I do appreciate that. But it is a little messy. And I also like with the Umbrella Academy show is main reason I'm using all their playlist songs is because they like have these crazy songs and they put them to like fight scenes, and it is like the funniest thing ever. It's my favorite. Like they have the song Sunshines, Lollipops, and Rainbows in Umbrella Academy, but it's like literally like playing during a battle scene, and it is my favorite thing ever. So I really like that. That song is not on this playlist spread. But I do like the way Umbrella Academy does that. So, and they use a lot of good songs for creating battle scenes. So that's a lot of the songs going into this playlist here are the ones they use when they're fighting in the show. This washi tape's kind of cute. It's got like sparkly diamonds and stuff. I like the pattern on it, so very cute. Weirdly sticky though. So, ooh, I need ideas from you guys. So, this is kind of off topic, kind of not, and we don't really have a topic. But so, I want to make sure my coming streams are interesting and exciting, and you guys actually want to see them, and I want to make content that you guys like. So, since this is a mostly bullet journaling channel, if there are any spreads you want to see, themes, designs you want me to use, or any ideas of stuff you want to see me do on stream, I'd love to see it, especially like fall related things. I want to keep September and October very like fun fall activities and stuff, and some in November. So if you have any ideas, put them down in the chat. I'd love to hear them. And on the topic of fall, we should talk about my fall bucket list, which I made during last month's stream. Oh, thank you, Mama Bear X, for following. I appreciate it. So, last stream, I made a fall bucket list spread. It should still be here on Twitch, and you can also find it on my YouTube channel, also L.I.L's Journaling. But we made this fall bucket list. I've only done one item in it, and it is... Aw, thank you, Joe Ped. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you liked it. But I did the fall bucket list stream. The only thing I've really gone for it so far on the bucket list is get fall candles. So I got a what is it? It's called Porch Springs. I can't speak. Porch Swing candle and a banana nut bread candle, which are really cute. They smell good. They make the house feel cozy it's getting cooler outside, so we're kind of getting into the fall vibes. And so I have been like kind of working on it, but kind of not. Like with the shows, I'm definitely like, one of the shows on there is Watch Sabrina the Teenage Witch, so I'm watching that on a weekly basis to kind of work on that thing on the list. And then other things on my fall bucket list, what I'm doing is I'm putting them on my to-do list to like plan. For example, one of them is to go apple picking, so I am putting that on the list so that I can like find a place that you can do apple picking, so then I can plan a date with my husband to do that. So I'm very excited about that. So I'm happy about that. And there's a part of me that's like, with my fall bucket list, is I want to like grab all the things. I want to like start doing all of them now, but I'm like, oh, I should save some for October and November, but I also know the weeks will go by fast and I may like not be able to do everything. So that's my main struggle with the fall bucket list, is kind of being like, okay, what do I want to work on this week? What do I want to work on next week? What can I start? And all that jazz. This pen I do want to show off because it is freaking cute. It is a little sword. It's a nice little plastic sword. It's like ruby right here, and you uncap the hilt to get your pen, and it's a nice fine tip, and it works pretty well. And it doesn't bother you holding it, because I thought it would because of like all these weird spikes, but if you hold it just right, it should work. But this pen is also dying on me, so we'll see how long I can use this one. Let me double check its health level. Look how small. Look how small it is. Which is cute, but then it also kind of frustrates me because I'm like, there's so much more pen that you could have, so much more ink you could have used that they're not using, so that kind of makes me sad, but it's okay. I'll live. Okay, this pen isn't working. It's cute, but it's not freaking working, so we're gonna grab a different one that we've already used. But yeah. So, I know Job had mentioned in the chat that he has been inspired to plan out his own fall activities. If you guys are doing fall activities, fall adventures, what are you guys doing this fall? Like, what are some things maybe you're planning with you, your friends, significant other, family members, etc.? What fall activities are you guys doing? Because I kind of want to know. I like fall things. Stocked up on fall scented candles too. Nice. Good choice. I like that. One of the things I'm kind of doing, definitely want to plant a harvest dinner. Ooh, that sounds fun. I saw this recipe the other day. It was on Instagram and stuff. And essentially is they got a bunch of different like red, yellowish fruits and they chopped them like really small. Like I am talking like see this tiny piece of washi tape on my finger? That is about how small they would chop up these fruits. And so they had strawberries, raspberries, pomegranate seeds, and apples. And they chopped it all up and they threw it in a bowl and mixed it up and they like ate it as a salad. And I was like, that sounds freaking good and I want to make that. Because one, it's going to be it's healthy because it's a bunch of fruit. Two, it's freaking cute. It'll probably take forever to like chop up and stuff. But I like that about it. And it's kind of soothing to kind of just sit down and chop things up. Like, I do kind of romanticize the idea of sitting down and just chopping up veggies and stuff. Like when I do it, when I make homemade dinners, it's kind of my favorite, weirdly enough. It's cozy. It's a nice activity. Also, this pen, it's kind of broken. It is a quill pen. It kind of arrived broken, but I'm not too upset about it. It's like a nice quill pen, and it's funny because I have a couple other these. I've used up the ink on them though, but with them, I'll like pull them out to use them, and someone will be like, "Is that a pen or a real quill?" And it's the funniest thing. Usually they're kind of far away, and then they'll come closer, and they're like, "Oh, it's a pen. That's really weird, but cool." So, I do like this pen. It's fun. It messes with people. But as much as I love this pen, and all the other fun-shaped ones that I may show you in a couple of minutes, their ink dies quite quickly, so. But back to talking about fall activities and stuff, and the idea of harvest dinners and all that stuff. One thing I want to make sure to do this fall is I have a small apartment. It is not big. It doesn't have a lot of space. It's a little cramped because I'm trying to make space for like all the things. Like I have a lot of books, a lot of stationery, and my husband has all his gamer stuff. So it's like I'm struggling to make room for everything. And so when the seasons come around, I usually kind of go on a decoration shopping spree because I just like all the cute things and I want them in my house. But then I end up with all this decor that doesn't actually have a place. For example, like these pumpkins, this pumpkin that holds my washi tape, and this cauldron, they're containers. I can set them down, they can hold things, they can hold my stationery, and I can give them a place like on a dresser or a desk. However, I do have a couple other items that are like, here's a cute little pumpkin, here's a decorated skull, some gourds, and that type of thing, just like cute stuff, but I don't have a lot of space to kind of set things on and be like, oh, I'm going to make like a cute little pile of pumpkins here, or I'm going to make a centerpiece for my table. That's not something I really have the room to do. But I have a lot of decor that could be used like that because I think it's cute and I want it, and I've bought it in the past. And so I guess my solution for this issue, so that I'm not spending my money on stuff that I don't need and then having to give it away or like not use it and it just sits until like forever, is I want to make sure I'm buying I want to think about the decor that I want to place in my house and make sure it has a place before I buy it. That's what I want to do. So, is basically when I'm going through my day and stuff and I'm looking or cleaning the house, I'm like, okay, what could I put here that's fall themed so I can make my house have those nice, cozy fall vibes, so, but without like overcrowding it or having things that I don't use. Sorry guys, this pen's kind of dying, so this one looks a little messy. Anyway, I want to make sure I'm buying the fall decor that I will actually like use and it has a place in my house, so that like when I pull it out next year, I know exactly where it goes and what it could go on and where to put it and stuff. So that is my goal with my fall decor shopping. Oh heck. Okay. By the way guys, this one looks like a bone. It's a nice spooky pen because bones are in the fall season, so it looks like a bone. It doesn't write super well. I'm not the biggest fan. It kind of writes like a big pen, and I don't like big pens because their tips are just too fat and annoying. But it's cute. Anyway. So that's my thing with my fall decor. Totally understand about space. I live in a small apartment too. I always pack away a bunch of stuff in a box and I just set out some holiday decor. Yeah. So that's one thing I've been doing is like, if I see like something that's out already as a decoration around my house, like I have this cookie jar in our house, and I'm like, okay, I could replace it with a fall decor cookie jar. Or if I have this I have this bouquet of wooden flowers that sits in our house. And so it's like, okay, I could replace this with some fall decor and holiday decor. And so that's kind of what I'm looking for. And I'm glad Joe Ped totally understands. And especially this is like for students, like if you're like me and you want to just buy all the cute things for your apartment, house, whatever, like first set up your apartment as is, like how it would be year round, like normally, like in the summer I don't have a lot of decorations out because it's summer. But then like look for like, okay, what could I put here to make it fall like? Oh, I love that idea. Okay, I'm gonna read this one out loud. Joe Ped said, one time I just put up wrapping paper on an empty wall just to bring the theme into the room without taking up much space. I love that idea. That's really cute. And I think fall wrapping paper exists, so you could totally do the same thing. I'm gonna hold on to that one. I really like that. Ooh, like brown paper, and you could put leaves on it. Yes, I love that. Decorating walls and stuff. I have a lot of, because I would go to Target and they'd have the fairy lights, but they have ones with leaves, ghosts, and skeletons. I'm looking at the ones around my house. And so I would get a bunch of those. So now I'm like, okay, where can I put these cute little lights? I've gotten like purple Christmas lights before, or the orange ones to put up around windows and stuff, so that like at night when you're watching a movie you can turn them on and it makes like this cozy fall themed colors into your house. So that's another idea I'm doing. I'm also doing, what else am I doing? I'm thinking of like table runners, pillows that I can replace, or blankets to put in my house. What else have I thought about? I have a list. Tea lights. I do have like a small, what is it? Tea lights. Yes to what? I don't know. But I have tea lights that I have a small lantern type thingy, and I used it on my Instagram a couple days ago. But I'm going to put tea lights in it that are like fall themed and stuff. What else do I have? Changing the color scheme with the blankets and pillows and lights. Yes. So like buy Christmas lights, but like in all the different colors. So like you have orange ones for fall, and you got the Christmas colors, or the white for like, you got Christmas colors for Christmas, obviously. You got white ones for January, and pink ones for like February, and maybe some green ones for March, and like some bright pastel-y ones for Easter. Like, that's fun. I want to do that more. I also have on my list is getting spooky foods. When I was younger, my dad always got us the Halloween cereal, which I loved, and it was freaking delicious. And so that's something I want to do, is have spooky foods in my house, or cozy ones, and mugs. I think drinks, having a great way to bring in the fall or seasonal vibes, is to have a good mug that fits it. And if you guys were here for last stream, I talked about taking one of these mason jars that I have and turning it into like a fall potion bottle mug to use. So I'm excited to do that and figure out how I'm going to do that. Oh, golly gee. And then one thing, okay, this is something I want your guys' help on. So my husband and I went to the dollar store. And you know, a lot of people go shopping for the holidays, and there's like this one dresser type that everybody gets when they go to college. And it is this dresser type, but bigger. Like, it's a normal size. But we found a mini one. It is small, it is cute, it has working drawers, it's got little handles. And so one thing I want to do with this, and I kind of came up with this idea as I was preparing for stream, is I want to get I want to go to Joann's, and you can find, like, there's a section with, like, miniature bottles and pumpkins and trees and whatever, and I want to get them to make decor to like kind of go on this dresser and like set it somewhere in my house so that it's like, here's all the cute little fall decor on it. So it's on the dresser and stuff. So that's my main idea. If you guys have any other ideas of what I should get to decorate this dresser, I want to make this like a cute seasonal or like holiday dresser, like maybe put a countdown on it so that I can use it like year round and just kind of put like, this is the holiday we're counting down to and this is the decor for it. So if you have any fall items that you think I should get to put on it, like if you like small miniature versions, I want miniature things. So if you know of like a link on Amazon for a bunch of miniature skeletons, put it in the chat. I want to know it so I can put it on here. And maybe I'll keep like the decorations in here, but it'll just be like, this is our little countdown box. Or if you guys do have other ideas of what I should put in this lovely little thing or use it for, put it in the chat. I'd love your ideas because I want to use this because it's my husband and I. It was kind of like a splurge thingy that we got. It was like, oh, this is freaking cute. I want to get it. But if you guys have ideas of how we should use it, because I don't want to use it just for my stuff and like, I mean, this is perfect for putting washi tape in it and storing it in here. But I want to kind of use it as something both my husband and I can look at and use. So if you guys have any ideas, plop them in the chat. And any other fall decor ideas. I love Joe Ped's ideas he's put in the chat thus far. Because I don't want to do any fall decor shopping until I have a very distinct list. Cut down birthday candles. Oh, that is so cute! Oh my goodness! Just little birthday candles, and I could melt the wax on the bottom and like stick it. I love that idea. Yes, yes. I'm writing that down in a sec. Let me finish this line. Let me write this down. By taking a picture of the chat. That is what I'm doing. That's me writing it down. This one's a flower. Okay. So, yes, I'm excited for fall and doing all the fall things and getting all the fall decor. I've been like, when my husband and I go shopping, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna like go out. I'm not going near like the fall decor section because I know I'll just be like, I want to get this and I want to get this and I want to get this, but I need to like make sure I think of like specific items. I think this week I probably will. So on Instagram, keep an eye out. I'm going to make a kind of like fall decor shopping list, I think, and then maybe show off as I like, if I get the items this week or whenever, I'm going to show them off and be like, this is how I used it in my house, so that you guys can get some fall decor inspiration as well. And maybe, because I've been, next Saturday, the 17th, I don't have an idea for what to do on stream yet, so maybe it could be decorating this and some other things or fall activities. So if you guys have things you want to do on that stream, let me know so that I can kind of plan it. Maybe we do some crafts. I do have some craft ideas on my list, such as decorating things and making them look cute, so maybe that's something we do on stream, because it still kind of falls in the bullet journaling vibe-ish. And crafts are fun. Like, I figured if you're artsy into bullet journaling, you may be into some crafts or like doing some art projects as well. If you're not, that's okay. You don't have to come to stream. I mean, you could and just put me on as background music. I'd appreciate it. I appreciate anybody who comes to my streams. I appreciate all of you so much. But yeah. Okay. So, I have room for 6 more songs. And that's exactly how many I have left. This is great, right? I made a list of 20 songs. And they're all going to fit on here. And I think some of these pens I'm going to have to reuse. I had fun using all of the different ones, so that was great. This is my last pen that was in my bucket of ones I wanted to try. It's one with diamonds. I do want to talk about where I got this pen from, though. So I forget which birthday it was, but for one of my birthdays, I was in Utah with my family. And what my dad had done is he kind of like, we went to Golden Corral for dinner, and my dad had invited like all these friends and family and stuff. And he's like, hey, I want you guys to bring, I want you to bring only pens and notebooks as gifts for my daughter. And I didn't know this in advance. He had planned it himself. And so that was a fun night for me. I liked the idea. I think it was quite fun. It was exciting because like everybody showed up and they all had different pens and stuff. I know what time it was. I went to Utah. I don't know why I went to Utah, but we did. It was probably for Thanksgiving because that's where my dad's family is and my birthday's around it. But we had gone to Utah for Thanksgiving, and I was also looking at some colleges while we were there. So it was before college. And so this is a good idea for your stationary friend's birthday coming up, or if you're like, oh, I don't know what I want to like get for my birthday, and this is a good way because this idea kind of makes it so it's easier on some of your friends who like may not be able to buy you a gift. Like it's just saying, hey, bring me a pen and a notebook or something like that. So specific item, anybody can get it, and it can be in anybody's price range. So I got a lot of fun pens and notebooks, so that's where I got this diamond one. But you know, like I got there and everybody just brought me pens and notebooks. One was a college friend who had shown me around his college, and he brought me a pen from the college. Some people got me these like fun ones like this. Some people just bought me a thing of Bics, which is fine. Other people are like, oh, I think these are fancy pens. I didn't know if you'd like it. Here you go. And I got a bunch of notebooks as well. So that's where I got this pen, and I liked that birthday idea a lot. I don't know if I'll do it again. I might for funsies, but it's a good birthday idea for you or your stationary friend if like you're really into it and you want some fun pens and stuff. Yeah. Here's my pile of sparkly washi tape that's been cut off. Okay, one of my issues is like, I don't like wasting stuff. That's like my main thing, especially when it comes to like washi tape and stationery. I don't want to waste it and that type of thing. I want it to put it to good use. I struggle to like, when I get a new notebook, I'm like, this notebook needs to have a purpose, a very specific one that I use. And same thing kind of goes for washi tape, so I rarely use it. And I don't like having washi tape scraps. Like, this is really cute, but I want to keep all of this. Like, I want to put it somewhere so it has a purpose. So if you guys have any ideas of like what you do with your washi tape scraps, I would love to hear them. One thing that I've like kind of done but I've forgotten, or like I'm maybe thinking about doing, is just you know, you open up your bullet journal and there's this like, this is the inside cover, all that jazz. I'm thinking of just slapping it all there. I haven't decided yet, but I might do that. Or I stick some on like my ruler, or when I have this like notebook right here that I am using as like, that has all my plans, sticking it in there as well. Also, on the topic of this notebook, so this is a sketchbook. I use it for planning bullet journal spreads, and sometimes I used it to plan school projects because it involved a creative design and that type of thing. And it's my favorite thing in the world to flip through, because like I love looking at all my spreads. I love, like, my bullet journal is like, this is a physical representation of my brain, how it works, and it shows like how cute it is, whatever. And then you look at my bullet, but looking at this sketchbook that has like, here's all my designs in progress, it's just so fun to see like, oh yeah, I remember this project and how it turned out, and I loved how it turned out, or like seeing the color palettes for things and how, what my thought process was for projects. I like that. So, but then I come to the dilemma is like, I want to keep most of my bullet journals because they have served a purpose. They have something about them that they tell a story, they tell you about my brain. But my planner notebook, I want to keep it because it also tells a story that's slightly different. But it also, it's like, it's messy. It's not meant to be like something to be kept, I would say. It's more of something to hold the ideas before they were created and stuff. So that's my main debate with my sketchbook, is like, I want to keep it because it has like all the in-process ideas and it tells its own story, but it also would take up too much space because it's just ideas. It's not something that's too sentimental that I need to hold on to. So yeah. So who knows? Maybe I'll keep it, maybe I won't. It's not full yet, so we'll see what happens when it is full. Maybe I'll keep some pages so it doesn't take up too much room. But yeah. One thing I do want to talk about this is that I've been experimenting on, which I posted about yesterday, I believe, is, let's not do that one. One thing I've been experimenting with is a routines spread. And, because like, my habit tracker kind of helps me like, oh yeah, this is a routine I kind of need to keep. But as I kind of transition more into the school year, one thing that's like quite important for me as a student, and I guess also for people who work from home, is being able to set up a routine so that you're actually like have hours for working and have hours where you're not, so it doesn't blend together between, oh, this is when I work and this is when I don't. Because I know when I was like in, like when I first started college, it was very much like I was working, but at the same time, like my schedule between social life and working on schoolwork was all in the same thing. Like there wasn't a time difference between when I was working and times I dedicated to not doing schoolwork, because it was just like all in one, do everything at once, blah 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 blah. So that was kind of my struggle, especially with like online classes. Like there was definitely no difference between being productive and not. And so like I'd sit on my bed to do homework, but then I wouldn't get as much done because I'm like, oh, it's my bed, let's not do homework. But then Or other times I would lay in bed and I'm like, oh, I can't do this because I want to be productive, and it was weird. So I've been playing around with the idea of routines as I'm coming into my next school year, and how I could use them to benefit me and help me be more on task, more productive. The main thing I've come up with thus far is just kind of creating this list of like, these are the things I want to get done in the morning, and these are the things I have to get done in the afternoon. And the main purpose of this list is that I have a late night job, so I wake up later in the day, and then my classes usually start also later in the day. But there's always that like couple minutes between, like, you guys kind of get it, like those 5 minutes between actually having to leave for class and the time you're ready, where you don't really know what to do, or it's like, what else? What's another example? It's like, the minutes leading up to when a meeting starts, the 10 minutes that it takes for like my 10-minute countdown before my stream starts, that type of thing. Those last couple minutes leading up to an event. And I think my purpose of the routine spread is to kind of give me a small checklist of items to do during that time, so I make sure to get it done. So like, yes, I got up, brushed my teeth, brushed my hair, got ready, got dressed, whatever, and now I have 5 extra minutes. What is on the routine list? Make sure I post on Instagram, make sure I journal, make sure I do this, or unload the dishwasher, or dish rack, because we hand wash everything. But like, giving myself that list of items to do in those 5 minutes, so that I'm not just like, oh, I'm going to sit on my phone and then get distracted, or that type of thing. That's my main thing for my routine spread right now. Another thing I want to try, and I got this from Jashi Corinne, which is another bullet journaler, and essentially is dedicating a day to doing a specific form of productivity. And she mentioned it in one of her vlogs, where she's like, oh yeah, today is a content making day or an editing day for her videos, and yesterday was a house cleaning day and caring for that. So I really liked that idea. I liked the way she did it, so I was like, okay, I kind of want to play with this idea as well. So, but I also don't want to give myself like, because sometimes my days are different. Like, there are days where I'm like, oh, this is going to be a house cleaning day, but there's an assignment I need to get done. So I think there's some days I'm going to dedicate to like focusing on something specific. Like Fridays are my I'm going to clean the whole house day. For some reason, that's just how my brain works. Every Friday, I'm cleaning the whole house. Sundays, baking day. That's what it is. I'm baking and I'm having fun that way. That's the way I stay productive on those days. Mondays, I think I want to also have like a day to work on my personal to-do list and a bullet journaling to-do list, like a day to be productive and kind of make a bunch of bullet journaling spreads. I want to make Saturdays a content day, where I make any reels or prepare any photos that I want to post, like, because like I just had stream, so that's like a main form of content that I'm doing every Saturday at 2 p.m. right here, guys. I like how I slipped that in. Anyway, but making Saturdays a content day, so I'm creating all my content for the coming week and planning out what I need to post, when I need to post, and all that jazz. So that's some productive idea that I'm playing with. Another, I guess, productive, I do want to talk about like 2 more productive things as I finish this up, is I guess another way that I like staying productive and on top of things is sorry, one sec. Okay. I guess another way I want to stay productive on top of things and that type of thing and a way that I stay productive as like a student, and I think it may be beneficial to those who work from home or who struggle to stay on task, is a back and forth method, or at least I guess that's what I would call it. But I'm not a person that can sit down and work on the same task for like an hour straight. Or, well, I can do that, I just don't like longer periods of time. Like, I have a job and stuff, I can sit down and do my job for whatever. But if I'm like doing homework for like more than 2 hours, I get kind of bored, annoyed, exhausted. I want to do something else. So, the way I kind of combat this issue is, kind of going back and forth, and there are different ways I do it. The main way I do it is that, the way I go back and forth is like, okay, if I have my homework and the things and the bullet journals that I want to make, or my own personal to-do list. Homework, personal to-do list. I'll do like one item of homework, and then I'll do one item of my personal to-do list, and then I'll repeat. So one item of homework, one item of personal to-do list, and I'll kind of do that throughout the day. And the way I may change it is that, like, for example, I listen to vlogs, or I watch bullet journaling videos on the background sometimes while I'm working. So sometimes it's like, for one video, I will focus, like, one vlog, I will only do personal to-do list. The next vlog I watch is only going to be homework to-do lists and stuff. Or another way I do it, those are Loki colors, that's really cute. Okay, sorry. Another way I'll do it is like time increments, like, okay, for an hour, I'm only going to work on homework, and then the next hour, I'm going to work on this. And then I also kind of throw in, like, for this hour, I'm going to do homework, the next hour, I'm going to take my lunch break and eat, and then the next hour after that, I'm going to do homework. And that's kind of is a way that's helped me stay productive, because I do have like the desire to do all these other things, or I need to do the dishes, I need to prepare for dinner, or clean up my house in any way, and I have all these extra things that I need to do, but I also want to get all my homework done, and I tend to get overwhelmed, and I'll be like, oh, I don't know what to work on, but because there's so much to do. So I kind of do this like hour by hour, do an hour of this, then do an hour of that, to kind of get through it. And I mean, it's good for me to be productive. If it works for you, or if you need more productive routines to try, go for it. I encourage you guys to do it, because I think it's crazy fun and stuff. So I didn't even write the last part. Oh, I forgot to do something on this one. Hold up. But yeah, that's kind of how I do most of my productivity, so that I can also make time to do all the other things while also making progress on things. And I think one very important thing that I like to remember when it comes to being productive is it's okay to just make progress on a project and not actually check it off your to-do list and that type of thing. So I think if you guys are having that same struggle that I've had, that's something you can do. Okay, let's take a look at this spread and stuff. One sec. Wow. Because now that we are done. So this is my productivity playlist. It has mostly songs from Umbrella Academy, some from, what's it called? Arcane, which is on Netflix. Both of them are Netflix shows. And then some other songs. The main vibe for these songs are very fast-paced and like kind of rock and roll-ish. Like, I like to call them battle songs, or like chaotic ones. Just like, if you can imagine someone fighting to this song, it is on my productivity playlist. And the reason is because they get me in this like very excited and quick mood. I'm very fast at my homework when I listen to these, because I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta keep going, because like the song is keeping going, it's going fast. Like, I don't know, I like Na 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 from MCR. It's a very fast-paced song. It's definitely one you can imagine people fighting to, so it's on my playlist, and it's one that's like, okay, fast-paced, gonna keep going, gets the adrenaline running for some reason, and that makes me more productive. So that's how this playlist is made up of, of these songs. If you guys do want the whole playlist, you can either put it in chat now, or you can ask in chat now, or DM me on Instagram, and I can send you guys the full playlist. I will be posting a picture of this on Instagram, so if you want to take a closer look at it or some of the songs, you can there as well. But chatting, okay. Let us transition to my favorite part of stream, and that is the journaling time. Essentially, what is it? Oh, I lost my train of thought. Whatever. It's journaling time. I'm going to pick a journaling prompt out of our journaling prompt jar, and then I will show you the materials we're using and all that jazz. So, here's our journaling prompt jar. Shaking it up. I have my journaling prompts color-coded by category and all that jazz. And then one thing, if you guys do not like today's prompt, or you're just kind of you can either write about your own life, what's going on today, or the link in the chat is to a document that has all the journaling prompts we have done on stream, and also a link to the journaling prompts I did in July for the month of journaling. So let's pull out today's prompt. It's a blue one, and blue is an about me one, so that you guys are going to kind of be writing about yourself. And if you guys are new to stream, I just kind of want to explain, at this point in stream, I draw a prompt, and then I show you my materials, and I will turn off my sound, and I'll give 10 minutes of silence with just the music going to kind of journal. So I encourage you guys to kind of journal along, take the prompt and write in your journals, take this time to reflect on yourself in any way that you need to. And this can be written journaling, this can be scrapbooking style, you can doodle, whatever you want, whatever works for your brain, get it off your chest. This is the time for that, because I do want to encourage people to kind of journal. It's a great record to keep of how you are, where you are in your life, and it's great to look back at in the future. I love reading through my old journals, especially the ones where I know I've been having a hard time, because then I can kind of see oh, this is how I've changed and grown, and this is how I got through that. And I'm so happy my younger self doesn't have to I'm not hurting about that anymore. So that's also why I like journaling. It's also fun to see what I was into and what I liked at the time. So that is the purpose of what we're doing here. So I hope you guys journal along with me today. So this journaling prompt, I'm going to type it in the chat. One sec. Thank you. Ooh, I'm not going to say this right. It's Lukasletuf. That's what it is. Okay. So, this journaling prompt is, when did you first meet your significant other? If you don't have a significant other or someone at this moment, talk about your best friend, talk about an important family member in your life. For example, I remember the first moment I've discovered I had cousins and how excited I was. So feel free to journal about what you want. Here's the journal I'll be using, and I always like to go through some of the journalings I did. So these are supposed to say September. Oh my goodness. Oh heck. I may fix that. So here's all the journaling prompts I've done in the past for this month. They all say August. Oh my goodness. Golly gee, I know this is September. So these are the ones I've done in the past. I have a set of fall stickers that I've been using, and some washi tape and markers in here. So that's kind of what I'll be doing. And by the way, this journaling prompt did come from Instagram. I put out a kind of questionnaire to say, hey, give me some journaling prompts. So this comes from Sarah and VT on Instagram. So thank you so much for this journaling prompt. And I'm going to turn this off. I'll talk to you guys in about 10 minutes. So, get journaling. Okay. If you guys are still journaling, keep going with it. Do what you gotta do. Keep writing. I love it. I hope if you guys do journal with any of me, if you guys make any of the spreads or journal along with me on stream, post it on Instagram and tag me. I'd love to see it. I'd be so excited to see it. It'd make me really happy. It would make my day if that happened. But if you guys don't want to, that's totally fine. As we wrap up the stream, I'm just going to quickly talk about what I journaled here with the prompt, when did you first meet your significant other? So I am married, so I kind of talked about when I first met my husband, and I have 3 individual stories here. So this first one is, it was my first semester of college, and I go to kind of a church school and stuff, and so I went to church, and I was kind of getting a role in my church to kind of, we call it a calling, to kind of just help out and that type of thing. And I was waiting to meet with our bishop, who was in charge of our church, to kind of give me this role of what I would be doing. And my husband was also there. He wasn't my husband at the time. I had just met him. It was the first time we had met. And he was asking, he just randomly asked, came around the corner and was like, hey, give me bad omen ideas, or like things you would do that would cause bad luck that isn't the typical ones. And so my first thought was opening a door with your left hand. That was my bad omen. And I said this kind of as a joking manner, and my husband, he just happened to be left-handed, so he kind of got offended. So those were kind of like our first words to each other the first time we met. It was kind of funny like that. So that's the first time I ever met my significant other. That is how we met. The second story I put in here is that we have these groups to kind of get to know each other and have a more of support group. So one girl's apartment is paired with a guy's apartment. We call them an FHE group, and you guys get together and do activities during the week. You kind of help each other out. That's the point of these groups, and it's a good way to get to know people in the church ward area. And so he was in my group, his apartment building, and him and his roommate would always come over to our apartment and just hang out like all day. And my roommates and I just kind of found that slightly annoying. It was kind of funny. I just kind of find it funny that he was always at my apartment when we first met, even though he was dating someone else at that time, and I was like, not really. I was kind of interested, but I also knew he was dating someone else, so I didn't say anything. But he was always at my apartment, so that's this little story right here. This third story I put in this journal is the first night our 2 groups got together officially to have a kind of get to know you thing. I was there and I was explaining a get to know you game that I knew of so that we could get to know each other better. And after I'd finished explaining, this is what my spouse said to me. No offense, but you sound like you're about to cry. And I was very nervous at the time. I was very close to crying because I was just really stressed. And so when he said that, we all started laughing. But at that moment, I did start crying. I played it off as laughing tears, but I was so nervous. And he said that to me, and he called me out, and I wanted to cry so bad in that situation. So yeah, that was about like the first time we actually started getting to know each other and stuff. So those are my 3 stories that I put in my journal for when I first met my significant other. Okay, so that is going to be it for today's stream. If you do want to see, if you missed part of the stream and want to watch it all, it will be on here on Twitch, and it will also be on my YouTube channel, which is also Lil's Journaling. If you want to see any of the spreads we make today up close, I will also be posting them on Instagram tomorrow. I am also Lil's Journaling there. I encourage you to follow me there. I post daily bullet journaling content and reading content, so like Bookstagram stuff. So if you want any more of that, also, we will have a stream next Saturday, the 17th, also at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time as usual. I haven't decided what we'll do yet there, so we'll see when we get there. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed today's stream. I know I did. And I will see you guys next week. Bye!